ad secrets. Ooh, let's talk about some bots. Ever wonder where all these bots came from? One source: advertisers. Let me explain. In the late 90s, a lot of the internet was booming. And so everyone was under pressure to build out websites. All these sorts of companies, especially publishers. You got your New York Times, you have your Fox Newses, they all were under pressure. Build out your website today. Everyone's got a website. So they did. And then .com crashed, and that led to some pretty big problems. Basically what happened was they got under an intense amount of pressure to start ramping up the actual profitability of those websites. Before it was just like, just have it, who cares? Spend millions on it, but just satisfy the market. Well, now .com crashed. Now they have to justify, why did you spend all this money that we told you to spend? Well, now they need ads. So they put on all these ads, but all of ads are measured on one single thing, which is called a CPM. A CPM stands for cost per mille. Oddly enough, no one in advertising knows that. They think it means cost per 1,000, which it does, because mille in Latin translates to 1,000. But that CPM is measured based on how many times an ad is shown. Whether or not it's unique, whether or not it's anything, it doesn't matter. What matters is that the M, the 1,000 times the ad is shown, is that it's shown 1,000 times. That's it. That's all they care about. Now it leads to a couple of problems, which is that if you're in a situation in which you're being measured against other companies like Google or Yahoo at the time, or anybody else, well, everyone's going like, hey, they have millions and millions of views. So these publishers like New York Times and whatever, it's like most people don't read our stuff online. But okay, we'll just get as many people in the door as possible. And then they pressure their tech teams. The tech teams turn around and go, I have no idea how to get these people in because there's no profitability here. So they turn around and they start going like, hey, you know what we need? We need all these third world countries to start pumping in as many bots as possible. So they reach out to them, have them develop these fake users, which are called bots, and they start pumping in tons, to the point that literally some websites, upwards of 80-90% of their entire traffic of legitimate websites are bots. And then they did all this other stuff to get rid of it, but that's what happened. And so they started growing rapidly, more and more and more, and the bot networks got more and more money. Well, they were still only getting pennies on the dollar because that publisher still needed to make it profitable. So what ultimately happens, state sponsors start coming in and they go, hey, we like what you do. Could you just make them comment on news stories? Could you make them do this? Could you make them do that? And so they're like, well, yeah, but how much are you going to pay us? We're going to pay you way more. So they do pay them way more, like incredibly more. So ultimately, these guys are like, hey, we already have the infrastructure. We already have this all built out. We just need them to comment similar stuff or go through a cycle of different prompts or whatever, or a post on these comments and just have at it. And they get more and more sophisticated over time. And now this entire bot network is a very diversified business. So you have the ad business on this side, and you have the state-sponsored business on this side. And they make millions and billions at this point of dollars. And there's a lot of them out there. And so legitimate publishers, which we call the premium sites, fight against this. They put in protocols to ensure that there are no bots, and that's the way they can charge a very high cost per 1,000 ads. Everybody else doesn't care. They're like, I'll take the penny because it's all free traffic for me. So that's the advertising business. On the state sponsor side, obviously they've gotten to the point that they have AI integrated. They can be very sophisticated and they comment on all these things and they do all this stuff. But here's the thing, these guys are so sophisticated that they already figured that X was going to do verification. So X has this whole verification thing. You click on it, you see where they got the App Store. That's 100% foolproof, by the way. Or not 100% foolproof, by the way. But anyone who does say that they got it in Russia or somewhere not in the US, that's because they did get it in Russia or somewhere outside the US. Don't let anyone fool you. Yeah, so there's that. That's one thing. Second thing, though, is a lot of these guys knew this was coming, so they VPN'd into the US App Store. And so still, the vast majority of the guys you see commenting on these things are all fake. And that's just what it is. So you have to understand that as long as you engage with those comments, you're going to basically keep that business alive. And it's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. And so that's it. Half the time you're arguing with a comment, and I'm guilty of this too. You're actually arguing with a bot. That's it. Oh, and also you might be thinking, well, how can I avoid running out against these bot networks? Run on premium sites. Those premium sites charge an obscenely higher rate. They run like 5 to 10x the cost, but they're really reducing the number of bots. They're probably like maybe 5-10% of the number of bots on their website. They actually do make a lot of efforts to get those bots off of their websites. Anyone else who you're just running on the open web, or God forbid you're running on the Google solutions, which that's all notoriously bot traffic, you're going to get no real conversions. You're like, look, we generated 5 million app downloads. And it's just like, yeah, but that country that they downloaded in only has a population of 7 million. It's just like, exactly. So that's just my little tip and a little bit of education about how we got here. That's it.